The Black Panther newspaper for today is from July 28th, 1973. I was a little over 1 year old at that time. And we're going to read why they were boycotting Safeway. Why boycott Safeway? So this is the first article in this newspaper. No single group of laborers in America are as fiercely exploited as farm workers. The exploitation arises out of the rapid and wide-scale growth of giant, mechanized agribusiness, absentee land ownership by huge corporations, the seasonal nature of agriculture, and massive racism. In California and throughout the Southwest, farm workers are predominantly Mexican American, but in many parts of the country, they are black and poor white. This is no accident. It is part of the pattern of exploitation. Depending on the high level of unemployment and underemployment of Mexican Americans and blacks in areas of their high concentration, owners and managers of agro-businesses offer starvation wages and 19th century working conditions to those who harvest much of the produce that the American people eat. Throughout the rural South, black men, women, and children have been exploited for decades as tenant farmers, as well as farm laborers. Today, as the individual small farm of American tradition is rapidly being replaced by the new modern giant farm plantation, the black and small farmer is either being pushed off the land or forced into a new slavery, little better than the Civil War was supposed to have ended. Federal government and state governments bordering on Mexico make a pretense of maintaining border controls to prevent hard-pressed Mexicans traveling north in search of a better life than they have known in their homeland. In fact, however, the evidence is overwhelming proof of the complicity of government with agribusiness to import cheap Mexican labor to work in the fields. All this helps to explain why the Black Panther Party has launched a full-scale boycott of Safeway supermarkets in Oakland and has aligned itself wholeheartedly with the struggle of the United Farm Workers Union, UFWU, led by the indomitable Cesar Chavez. The UFWU's dedication to ending the oppression of America's farm workers has resulted in vicious repression. Corrupt elements in the leadership and from the ranks of the already discredited Teamsters Union have joined hands with the corporate growers to stop and break the UFWU in its efforts. In the interests of farm workers and all oppressed and exploited of this land, we urge all Americans, don't shop at Safeway. Don't purchase non-UFWU picked lettuce or grapes anywhere. Support the UFWU. The UFW, led by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta and others, had called for a national boycott of grapes and grocery stores that sold non-union produce. Safeway refused to stop selling grapes picked by exploited farm workers, so activists, including the Black Panther Party, joined the boycott to pressure the company. How did the Black Panthers support the boycott? Number one, picketing stores. They stood outside Safeway stores in cities like Oakland, California, urging customers to not shop there. Number two, blocking store entrances. In some cases, Panthers physically blocked entrances to stop people from entering. Number three, educating the public. The Panthers used the Black Panther newspaper to spread awareness about farm worker exploitation and the importance of the boycott. Number four, forming alliances. The Panthers worked with Latino, Asian, and white activists, showing solidarity between civil rights movement and labor rights movement. The impact of the boycott was that Safeway lost business due to widespread protests. The boycott helped bring national attention to the farm workers' struggle. It showed the power of Black and Latino solidarity in fighting exploitation, and eventually the UFW won better wages and rights for many farm workers. The Black Panther Party's involvement in the Safeway boycott was just another example of their commitment to workers' rights, racial unity, and economic justice. This picture was at the end of the newspaper, and I just wanted to make a personal comment on it. If you look to the family on the right where they're playing board games and stuff, I mean, that's how my childhood was. And the quote is, few black folks die of old age, few have the time, and none get the opportunity. And when I was living with my family, I thought everybody lived like that. But then I went off to college, which the one I went to was an HBCU, FAMU, and my eyes were opened so wide to what was still going on in the United States. And this was I was in college in the 90s. So not everything is like we think it is, based on what we see around us. And it's good to get into different environments, and it's great to have TikTok because we can learn from people around the world what they're going through, and it's very different for everybody. So Anyway, have a great day and do what you will with this information, with the current boycotts of you know who, you know who, you know who, and you know who. I'm not going to name them, but basically we're boycotting everybody. Anyway, have a good day. Love you. Bye.